So today we'll be having a bit of an update to the game, and the servers will be down for about 2 hours at these times. With this update, we've got some patch notes and we can read through some of the changes they've made and fixes. We have a fix to one of the kobolds. You may have seen him getting stuck inside of a wall and then you weren't able to progress properly unless you, I guess, ran away from him and went outside of combat. With regards to the Ruthless Domination artifact set bonus, highly unlikely anybody really has this now as it's really expensive. Drops from Exempted Reliquary Master. It's this set right here and it wasn't consistently activating to give you the stats when you use the daily power. You can check the video back when I tested it, but it should properly actually give you the bonuses when you use the daily power. I don't think the set is all too great except if you're still gearing up your character and you miss those stats. Even then there are better options with a far cheaper cost. Then we have a bunch of companion changes as well. Very nice. The Blaspheme Assassin is going to be getting its Fairy Fire fix so that it actually does reduce the enemy's defense so they take 1% more damage. We can see its effect via the tooltip right here, Fairy Fire. And it's been adjusted, as you can see there, just increasing the damage taken rather than reducing their defense and also reducing their dodge, but that's supposed to be deflect, which is coded as dodge in like the combat tracker, but deflect chance. So it's now a fully support companion, very minimal, but at least you can keep its Fairy Fire up all the time, and it would be then good to have one of the DPS players to use it because she also does quite a lot of damage. And a quick test shows it does indeed work to give you basically a 1% debuff increase on the boss. Next we have a fix to the Cyclops War Drummer. He's going to have his increased uptime of his percussion. That means he's going to provide that defense more reliably to everybody via his percussion there, 3%. Then the Dwarven Battle Ranger, just a fix to his powers. He'll use the Ferocious Leap a bit more regularly, and he's supposed to be a hybrid companion mix between AoE and single target. The Manticore was actually dealing a ton of damage with an AoE power that was considered single target damage, and yeah, so that's getting revised and will now correctly deal appropriate multi-target damage instead of incorrectly being set up as a single target power. I did notice this, but it was very inconsistent. I couldn't really suggest him as a good AoE companion. Then the wizards, very nicely, Wayward Wizard, Halfling Wayward Wizard, Mystagogue, they're all getting adjusted so that they'll actually move close to their target before using their big slow ability. I want to actually check that with the Wayward Wizard real quick. Have a dummy right here and go and attack him. How close does the Wayward... Oh, he wants to go right up close, exactly like the Mystagogue. That is very nice. So they basically nerfed the Mystagogue in that regard because you can just get the Wayward Wizard for 2 gold pieces and he's going to be the same effect as the Mystagogue. I mean, that's a good thing. That's a decent then AoE companion you can get right at the beginning of the game. When the game gives you the choice to buy one of the companions, I would recommend the Wayward Wizard to help you then with questing. That slow ability will help dealing damage to everybody around him. And otherwise, you can see the enchantments. I noticed this earlier as well. The Ruby, Sapphire, and Aquamarine, they're the new ones, were not properly giving more total stats than the single enchantments, but that should now be fixed. The account-wide versions should give slightly higher stats. And yeah, you had the Aquamarine enchantment giving a ton of outgoing healing. That was incorrect. It was giving you like 740,000, and then the mythic Aquamarine was giving an excessive amount of control bonus, which was like 1 million or something. We were all ratings and it was a bit ridiculous. It was a bit amusing, but those are getting fixed. Can't be crutching that Aquamarine, the epic one, for your outgoing healing anymore. There was a typo adjusted for this coif here, Mystic Inspiration. The Windsoul Genasi got adjusted so that she's actually called that now instead of the Air Genasi. In my companion list, she's as Air Genasi because that's what she was renaming herself to when I actually equipped her. They did update some of the tooltips here for the Feet Armor of the Dark Maiden's Gear, the Stormforged weapon, and the Weaver's weapons. We can check that and we can see that now it should say total damage instead of like just outgoing damage and outgoing healing, because having it listed as outgoing healing you confuse with your outgoing healing stat, or outgoing damage you might confuse with this damage bonus here, I guess. And then you can see that with the Stormforge as well, having that total damage and total healing rather than just listed as outgoing. So decent. They're trying to put some more clarity in their tooltips. And then otherwise, some item level adjustments. There's some masterwork gear here. I don't think any of it's really relevant. Nobody really uses those sets, at least not in endgame. And then, yeah, the Mensa brands and campaign, the adjustment so that the campaign milestone 2 and 4, the mount tokens and the trade bars can now only be claimed once per account, as I stated in my video just yesterday. It was a bug that you could claim it, yes, on multiple characters. Not going to punish anybody for that, and if you took advantage of it, then yeah, you get some extra rewards for their inconsistency, their mistake on that. And otherwise, just a user face fix with the campaign task awarding boon points will no longer display that 0 boon points in the task tooltip. That is gonna be today's update. Personally, I like to see that they finally went and adjusted the Blaspheme Assassin so she actually works with her fairy fire, debuffing the enemies. And otherwise, the companion, the Wayward Wizard, now being exactly the same as your Mystic Og and your Halfling Wayward Wizard by moving right up close to the target before they do the AoE power. Definitely makes it a very good, viable AoE companion you can get for pennies now. Massive thank you again to all of these channel members for their continued support. I will see you guys around. Goodbye for now.